Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today we are just going to be starting about the different types of graph, okay? Or you can say that we are talking about the rough sketching, okay? So the first one, very first graph that we must have to be known that is about a linear graph. And we already learned about linear graph. We have different types of linear graphs because our whole trigonometry is depend upon the y is equal to mx plus c, the equation of a straight line. We have different types of equation of a straight line. We have y is equal to plus minus k. What does it mean? It means that you have a vertical line or a horizontal line. We have done this in the coordinate geometry. Yes, everyone. Y is equal to 2 graph or y is equal to minus 3, y is equal to 4 graph. It's, yeah. Yes, Surya, it is a horizontal line. It is a graph look like this. In the same way, if you have a graph x is equal to plus minus c, yes, it is a vertical line. Yes. And for example, if you have a graph y is equal to mx, there is no constant term. It means that it is passes from the y-intercept. There is no y-intercept. This means that y-intercept is 0. It means that it is passes from origin. It is passes from origin. If the gradient is greater than 0, this means that the line is moving from left to right. The line is moving upward. And if the gradient is lesser than 0, means you have a negative gradient like m is equal to minus 2, minus 3. Then from left to right, the line is moving downward. We have done all of these things in the coordinate geometry. And we have the standard form is basically y is equal to mx plus c. Right? So the same thing is going to be lie here as well. If you have the gradient is positive, the line from left to right is moving upward. And if it is negative, so from left to right, the line is moving downwards. Yes, anyone, any question in the linear graph? Because we have done a lot of classes of the coordinate geometry and whole coordinate geometry and the inequalities. We just talk about the equation of a straight line, and we are dealing with the different types of equation of a straight line, the vertical line or a horizontal line or an inclined line with a positive gradient and a negative gradient. Yes, everyone, any question up to here?
No.
The second type of graph, the rough sketch that you must be know, that is quadratic. The standard form of the quadratic is basically ax squared plus bx plus c. This is the standard form of the graph ax squared plus bx plus c. Always remember if the coefficient of x squared is greater than 0, then the shape of the graph is going to be look like a U shape like this. And if the coefficient of the x squared is lesser than 0, then the shape of the graph is going to be upside down, and it is known as parabola. This graph have a specific name that is known as parabola. Yes, everyone, it is clear.
Yeah.
Always remember if you have any graph means ax square plus b, 4x square plus 3x plus 5. It doesn't matter what are the values of b, what are the values of c. We just have to be focused on this one. Okay. Okay. In this graph, I'm going to be take a quadratic equation and I'm going to be solve it. For example, you have a quadratic equation x square minus x uh, minus 6, let's say. So obviously it is a quadratic graph. So let's see how to draw it. First of all, always remember the constant value is basically your y-intercept, means where the graph cut the y-axis. The coefficient of x here is positive. This means that the shape of the graph is going to be like a parabola, like this. Now in this graph, we have to focus on this point from where it is going to be turned. This is known as a turning point. We need to be find this one. If we will find it, so it is going to be easier to make the graph. For that thing, we need to be uh, make a completing square. Yes, what we have to do in the completing square? We have to write x minus b whole square minus b square minus 6 as it is. All right, everyone. Remember x minus b whole square
Yeah.
minus b square. We have done this in the completing square when we are doing the quadratics. Now, how we can find the b term? You need to be multiply the coefficient of x with 1 by 2. You will get minus 1 by. So we'll get that minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2. Now simplify them. It will be x minus 1 by 2 whole square. We are making the completing square that you the same method that you are using in the quadratics when you are solving a quadratic. So we have three methods: the quadratic formula, completing square, and factorization method. So I'm doing the completing square method for to finding the turning points. This point, the turning point. All right. So x minus 1 by 2 whole square minus 1 by 4 minus 6. Yes, everyone, please find it. Minus 1 by 4 minus 6. Just use the calculator right now. I just want to be sure the steps only. Minus 1 by 2 minus 6, that will be equal to
Negative 6.25.
just negative 6.25.
Two five.
All right. Now let's have to draw the graph. So first point, we have to find the turning point. The turning point is, you will write the equation x minus a into x minus b whole square plus c. So basically b plus c or b comma c is your turning point. The constant value with the opposite sign. If it is minus, you have to take positive b. If it is positive, you have to take negative b. And c as it is means a constant value that you will get from here. So look at here. Here I'm going to be get the constant value is 1 by minus 1 by 2. We'll change it. Minus 1 by 2 will become.
So won't it become positive 1 by 2 because it was already negative 1 by 2?
If it is negative 1 by 2, so it will become positive 1 by 2. For example, if you will get a positive 1 by 2 here, we will take negative, and that is the coordinates 1 by 2 and minus 6.25. These are the coordinate of the turning point. Just please note down this formula: a into x minus b whole square plus c. So by this way, you have to find the turning points. Yes, everyone, please note down this one. Yes, everyone, any question up to here? So for to finding the turning points, you don't have to do anything. You just have to do the completing square that you know how to do it. Do the completing square. Then this value Take the opposite side, that is your x value, and this is your y value of the coordinate. Now look at here, it is plus 1 by 2, x is plus 1 by 2. Let's say it is 1, so 1 by 2 here, 0.5, and minus 6.5. Minus 6.5 is going to be around here, let's say. And look at here, we have the y-intercept is minus 6. It is minus 6.5, 6.25. So this point is minus 6. So you will get a graph look like this. It is going to be turned at this point. It is passes from 6 because the turning point is minus 6. It is clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know that it is a quadratic equation and you are you are able to simplify them. If I'm going to be taken directly from here, so in the quadratic graph, the one important point, that is the turning point. The second thing, y-intercept. The third thing, that is x-intercept. Yes, can anyone tell me what is the value of y at on x-axis? What is the value of y value? Yes, the y will be equal to 0. On x-axis, the value is always equal to 0. So let's see how to take it equal to 0. You will get x here. I'm going to do the factorization. Minus 3x plus 2x minus 6. So it will be x is common, x minus 3 plus 2 is common, it will be x minus 3. X minus 3 into x plus 2. I have to do the factorization here. From here, I'm going to be get x is equal to 3 and x is equal to minus 2. So I will get the two values, x3 and x minus 2. So x minus 2 is basically the x-intercept and 3 is an other intercept. So always remember, if examiner gives you a quadratic graph, you must know how to find the x-intercepts, y-intercepts, and the turning point. How many things we have in the quadratic graph? Three things: x-intercepts, y-intercept, turning point. X-intercept, you have to take y is equal to 0. It will be a quadratic equation, you need to solve it. You will y-intercept you will get directly from the question, that is minus 6. For turning point, you need to rewrite the equation into the completing square form. After writing this form, then b comma c is your basically a turning point. Yes, everyone. Any question up to here?
No.
All right, so just a minute. I'm going to be share my full screen and just want to show something. Yes, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
sir.
let's have we write a different graph, a different quadratic graph. So you have to check the shape, okay? You have to make a main focus on the shape. Let's say you have x square. Look at here when I have to write x square. So you can see it, it is going to be a U shape. There is no x and y values, so it is passes from origin. The turning point is on origin, the x-intercepts and the y-intercept is on origin as well because it just touch the x-axis and go back. Let's see, I'm going to be add some more values plus 3x. Look at here when I have to do it, your turning point is going to be changed. If you have to zoom in, you will get the turning point. It must be shown here. I'm not sure why it is not showing. Yeah, now it is showing. So look at here, it is minus 1.5 and minus 2.5. The x-intercepts are minus 3 and 0. And here it is 0, comma 0. I'm going to be add some more. Minus 9, let's say. Look at here. The turning point is going to be changed. That is minus 1.5 and minus 11.5. Your x-intercept, y-intercept is going to be changed. That is 0, comma minus 9. That is y-intercept. And if you have to go up, you will get the x-intercepts here. Minus 4.8 and minus plus 1 point something. It is clear? But look at here, I'm going to be change different values, but the shape of the graph is going to be look like exactly same. Is it clear?
Yes,
If you
sir.
have to put different values, it is still same. But for example, if I'm going to be write a minus sign here, what I have to write? Let's say negative 2x here. Look at here, now the shape is going to be changed. It is upside down. So this is the thing that I'm going to be tell you here. If you have the coefficient of x here is greater than 0, the shape is like a parabola. If it is less than 0, it is going to be upside down. And the important things in the graph is x-intercept. Obviously, for that purpose, you have to take y is equal to 0. Y-intercept, you can see it directly from the graph. That is a constant value. Or substitute x is equal to 0. And the last thing is turning point. For that one, you need to do a completing square. Yes, everyone. Any question up to here? For example, if I'm going to be make any bigger value, it is going to be still same. Let's you have to write minus 7 or any other value, it is going to be still. The type of the shape is going to be exactly same. The upside down. If you remove the negative sign, I'm going to remove the negative sign. Look at here, it is going to be a U shape, a parabola shape. Any question about the quadratic graph? So after that, you must be able to make a rough sketching of the quadratic graph. This is all about quadratic graph. Now, we are going to move for the cubic graph. We are just moving for the cubic graph. In the cubic means we have ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. Same as the constant value is basically your y intercept. All right. And if we are going to be talk about the shape of the graph, if the coefficient of a is greater than 0, then the shape of the graph is going to be look like this. It is coming from right towards left. It may be this shape, or it may be it is parallel to x-axis and go down. This type of shape. And if your coefficient is lesser than 0, if the coefficient of x cube is lesser than 0, then the shape of the graph is going to become from right to left. Like this, or like this. It depends upon the values. This is the rough sketch of a cubic graph. Let's see how to check here. Let's I have to take x power 3 directly. Yes. Can you see the graph? It is going to be exactly the same shape. Yes, everyone, you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm going to be change different values. I'm going to be add plus 4x square. Look at here. The turn is going to become a bigger. Add some more values plus 3x plus 7, let's say. Look at here. It is going to be the exactly same shape. Obviously, in which you have the turning points, but at IGCSE, we are not going to be discuss about the turning points. We are just going to be talk about the x-intercepts and y-intercept and the general shape. Look at here, the coefficient of x cube is positive, so it is moving from left to right side. So right to left side. And if I'm going to make it negative, let's say it is negative x cube. So look at here now the shape of the graph is going to be changed. Yes, everyone, it is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And obviously the rest of the things are going to be depend upon the situation and the values. I'm going to take only this one. So look at here. Here it is going to be parallel to x-axis and just go down. You have to substitute any type of values at the end. You will just get these shape. If the coefficient of x square is positive, x cube is positive, the shape of the graph is going to look like this or this one, otherwise this and this one from right to left. So the general shape or a rough sketch of the graph totally depend upon the coefficient of x cube. The things that you have to be known for y-intercept means where the graph cut the y-axis, you will get directly get from here. And the second thing, x-intercept, if the graph is given, you must have to be know where the graph is going to be cut the x-axis. For example, if I'm going to be take the graph from here, minus 3x plus 5. Right, look at here. It is not going to be bigger, but the shape of the graph from left to right because it is negative. I will take a positive one. All right. So I'm going to take this picture on my own screen. All right, everyone. This is the cubic graph. So examiner gives you the graph and you have to find the x-intercept and y-intercept. If you will look at carefully, it is between -2 and -2.5. So this value is going to be around -2.3. That is your x-intercepts, -2, 3, y0. And if you will look at carefully, this value is going to be look like it is 4, it is 6. So it is 0, 5. Let's check here. I'm just going to be assume it. Yeah, -2.27. So we have right 2.3. And this value is, yeah, it is going to be exactly 2. Yes, everyone, it is clear that the general shape of the cubic graph.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, now let's see how to go for the next one. That is reciprocal graph.
So basically, it'll just be like the opposite.
Sorry?
Like reciprocal means like if you just like flip it
No, yeah,
around.
reciprocal means you have a variable is in the denominator.
Yeah.
Reciprocal graph, like you have y is equal to plus minus 1 by x. It can be 2 over x, 5 over x, 7 over x. Let's say we have to write a over x. Any constant divided by x. Okay. the variable x will be in the denominator. So we will ever have to draw a graph based on the equation in the exam. Yes, sometimes the examiner gives you the grade and you need to be draw the graph. Okay, so examiner gives you appropriate value. That's why I'm just going to be focusing. So which value you need to be make the graph? The one thing you have to be find the x-intercept, y-intercept, or obviously you are not able to find turning points. So he's not going to be asked about the turning point of the cubic graph, but he can ask about the turning point of the quadratic graph. All right. So you have to find the look at here. I need to make this graph. So what I have to find? I have to find x-intercept, y-intercept, turning point, meet them, and I know what is the rough sketching of a quadratic graph. It is if the coefficient of x square positive upside down, it is like this parabola. If it is a negative coefficient, so we have to upside down. I will make the graph like look like this. All right. We will do some questions as well. But all of these things is going to be exactly the same. In the reciprocal, it can be look like the graph can be look like that this plus minus a over x or plus constant something. Okay, but the shape of the rough shape of the graph is going to be exactly same, and the shape is, for example, this is the graph. We are going to be talking about y is equal to plus 1 over x. The value is positive. So the graph is going to look like this. If you zoom in, the graph is closer to x-axis, but it will never touch the x-axis. The same way, this graph closer to y-axis, but it will never touch the y-axis. From here, it is going to be closer to y-axis, but never touch it. In the same way, it is closer to x-axis. So these lines in which you are going to be closer the values, but not touch it, they are known as asymptote. These lines are known as asymptote. We have done the asymptote in the trigonometric graph as well. When we have to make a graph for the 10, we have to make a line. And we have to say that it is going to be closer to line, but it will never touch it. And such type of line is known as asymptote line. If it is positive, the graph is going to look like this. If it is negative, then the graph is going to be in the second quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. Clear? Next, we have to check it. So you can take any constant, let's say 5. Where is it divided? Divided by 5 divided by x. Now look at here. You will get the graph in the first and second quadrant. Now let's say I have to make a negative sign here. Now look at here. The graph is in the second and fourth quadrant. This thing is clear. And if you are going to be changing the values, in the rough sketching, it is not going to be change anything. Let's say I'm going to be change it. Let's say I have to write 100. Let's say. So look at here. This distance is a little bit increased. That's it. But if you have to look for the shape, it is exactly same. And when I have to say that it is going to be closer to y-axis, it will never touch it. Let's zoom in. Look at here. I will move up. It is going to be closer and closer, but still you have a gap. Can you see it? If you have to see it from here, it look like it is touch the y-axis, but if you have to zoom in, you can clearly see that we have a gap here. Yes, I want. It is clear? So in the reciprocal graph, if you have a positive value, so the graph is in the first and the third quadrant. And if it is minus 1 by x or 2 by x or 100 by x, 5 by x, anything, it is going to be in the third and fourth quadrant. And the next thing is, for example, if you are adding something here, because I have to zoom out. I'm going to add, let's say, plus 5. So when you have to add plus 5, the graph is moved towards the left side or right side like this way. You have to look at carefully. Now it is move a little bit upward. The exact graph is move a little bit upward, but the general shape, if you have to look for the general shape of the graph is going to be exactly same. The first quadrant, second quadrant, second quadrant, and fourth quadrant.
Okay, so, sir, if you add something, then it touches the axis.
Yes, obviously, when you have to be add, it means that this whole graph is going to move a little bit upward, the same value. All right. So we will do the questions. So it is everything is going to be more clear. But first of all, the purpose of today's class, I just want to be make sure if I'm going to be talk about a graph, linear graph, you must have to remember that it is a straight line. If I've said that quadratic graph, you must know that it is a U shape. Positive coefficient, U shape, negative coefficient, it is upside down. Cubic graph, positive coefficient, the shape is like this. And if the coefficient of cubic is negative, then the shape is going to be look like this. If it is a reciprocal, you have a graph like this way or in this way for negative. All right. We are doing all the things for the rough sketching today. Yes, everyone. Any question up to here?
No.
No, sir.
All right. Now the last type of the graph that can become in the rough sketching, that is exponential. Exponential means you have y is equal to there is some constant and the variable is going to be in the power. The variable is in the power of any constant. Such type of graph is known as exponential graph. The shape of the graph is going to be look like, I need to draw the coordinates. The shape of, for example, if you have y is equal to k positive x, means 2 raised to power x, 5 raised to power x, 10 raised to power x, like this. You have like this way, then the graph of the shape is going to look like this. It just cross it and move towards the left side. And if the same graph, if I'm going to be change the value of the variable, you have y is equal to k power minus x instead of plus x. So look at here, it is right to left. Now just go from left to right. Okay, let's check it here. Not here, sorry, here. So 2 power, why it isn't writing? 2 raised to power x enter. Look at here. It is moving from left to right, and it is going to be x axis. What is moving here? Yeah. My graph is going to be a little bit more smooth. It goes. All right. But in the actual, it is going to be look like this one. Let's change the value. We have to take 2 power minus x. Look at here, it is going to move towards the left side. Here, everyone?
Yes.
You want to be add something plus 2, it will just look like this. But it must pass. There is some white intercept here. Yeah, my shape is going to look like this. Okay, we are very zoom out. Let's see how to zoom in. Now it is going to look like the same shape. Yes, everyone, it is clear.
Yeah.
Yes,
So these
sir.
are the rough shapes of the different types of graph. Okay, let's see. Have to we talk about one more graph in which you have y is equal to the square root of x and y is equal to 1 divided by square root of x. In this one, the shape of the graph is going to look like this. For the positive value and for the in the denominator, then it will become a reciprocal basically. The shape is going to look like this. Right? It is because you have a 1 by x, you have the graph in the first quadrant and the third quadrant, but in 1 by square root of x, you have the graph only in the first quadrant. Yes, everyone. Any question to here?
No.
Sir, if we draw the graph like not in the first quadrant, in the third one.
Sorry?
If we draw the graph on the
No,
third
no, no,
one.
you have to draw in the first quadrant. It is not in the second quadrant. You want to be make sure your values. Okay, for example, if examiner gives you a graph and he says that make a table and do it. So you have to make the table and you can find it by the values by yourself as well. Let's say I'm going to be taking the x and y is equal to, yes, you want to be to make the graph of square root of x or 1 by square root of x by using a table.
Sir, anyone?
1 by square.
1 divided by square root of x, let's say. Okay, 1 divided by square root of x. Yes, everyone, please use a calculator and just tell me the final values. For x1, I know that it is y is 1. For x2, y is, yes, tell me the value. Yes, take 1 over square root of 2,
0.70.
0.70. Let's say 3. 1 divided by square root 3, that will be
0.577.
0.577. In the same way, if I'm going to be substitute, I cannot be substitute 0 because if I substitute 0, that thing is going to be undefined. All right. We have talked about the domain and the undefined thing in the functions. Okay, let's say I have to substitute -1, let's say. At -1, it is -1. At -2, it is going to be, yes, -1 is defined.
No, sir.
No, because it is undefined, he's not going to give you the value. So let's see how to draw the graph. We have very small values here. In the rest of the all the values are going to be lesser. So let's I have to say that we have 1, 2, 3. It is 0 0.2, 0 0.4, 0 0.6, 0 0.8, and 1. So at 1, it is 1. At 2, it is 0 0.7 around here. At 3, it is 0 0.56, and obviously we will take 4. It is going to be around here. So the graph is going to be look like this. That's why I have to make this graph. The same way if you are moving upward, so it is moving closer to y-axis. So I have to make the graph here by using the rough sketch. Just a minute, everyone. Yes, everyone. Any question up to here?
No, sir.
All right. Sometimes the examiner gives you the question like this way as well. He is going to be give you the graph and he is going to be give you different options. He is going to be ask you, tell me it is the graph of y is equal to 1 over x. It is the graph of y is equal to minus x squared plus 3 like this. Or it is y is equal to 4x plus 3. Yes, for example, if I'm going to be asked you, tell me where is the graph y is equal to 1 by x or 2 by x like this way. Which graph it is? The first
B.
one,
B.
yes, the B, because you have the value of the first and second quadrant. And what type of graph it is? It is exponential graph that we have done here with a positive value. Means, for example, if you examiner write like 2x in the option, so obviously 2 raised to power x in the option. This is the quadratic graph, and the coefficient of x squared must be negative. There is some more values, but I'm pretty sure the coefficient of x squared must be negative, and it's not a quadratic graph. And I'm pretty sure the graph is must be a straight line. It is moving from left to right. I know that it is a cubic graph, and the coefficient of x cube must be negative because it is moving from left to right. All right. So this is how examiner is going to be asked you about the different question about the graph, the cubic graph, and all of these things. Inshallah, in the next class, we will do the graph questions. All right. In the graph questions, basically we have to be find the gradient and the tangent, and there is a lot of rest of the things. But you must have to be familiar with these rough sketching. Okay. Yes. Anyone have a question up to here?
Yes.
So I hope up to here it is going to be very